Coming up, we're diving into a major development on the Dallas Cowboys' offensive line. And it's exactly the kind of news fans have been waiting for heading into 2025. This update, first reported by CBS Sports' Garrett Podale, highlights the powerful influence of Duke Manyweather, a name that should excite every serious Cowboys fan. Manyweather is one of the most respected offensive line specialists in football, and right now, he's working closely with all 5 Cowboys starters, plus some of the backups, ahead of the new season. That's not just a good sign, it's a game changer. This unit has to perform. The Cowboys have invested heavily into their offensive line. We're talking multiple first-rounders, high draft picks, and a big money deal for the right tackle. Failure is not an option. The success of this team rides on that line holding strong, protecting the quarterback, opening up the run game, and setting the tone every snap. Now here's the part fans should love. These linemen aren't just waiting for camp. They're already grinding, already building chemistry and sharpening technique under Manyweather's guidance. That kind of early preparation, it speaks volumes. Before we break down what each player is focused on this offseason, let's pause and talk about who Duke Manyweather really is. If you've followed the Cowboys closely over the years, you've probably seen his name pop up again and again, and for good reason. He's not a team staffer, but he might as well be. Manyweather is the go-to guy for O-line development during the offseason. Terence Smith, Zach Martin, Tyler Biodosh, and more, they've all worked with him. So have the younger guys like Brock Homan. Manyweather doesn't just coach, he crafts linemen. He molds them into NFL warriors. What's even better? The Cowboys' coaching staff is fully aligned with Duke's philosophy. That kind of cohesion is rare, and it's exactly what Dallas needs if they want to dominate in the trenches this year. Coming up next, we'll go player by player and break down how each lineman is preparing to anchor this offense. After spending time collaborating with the Cowboys' current coaching staff, including names like Connor Riley, Duke Manyweather made one thing clear. They're now all seeing the offensive line through the same lens. This isn't about stepping on toes. It's about filling the gap when the NFL rules prevent coaches from directly working with players. As Duke put it, his goal isn't to change what these linemen are being taught, it's to enhance it. To take what the Cowboys staff wants and help players become faster, sharper, and more efficient at executing it. And it's working. All 5 starting offensive linemen are training under Duke's watchful eye along with key backups like Brock Homan. Duke isn't officially on the Cowboys staff, but in many ways, he might as well be their secret weapon in the trenches. He's based right in Frisco and has built a strong relationship with the Cowboys front office. And while you'll never see him on the sidelines wearing a headset, his impact behind the scenes might be even more valuable. Why? Because he's not bound by the rules of the CBA or NFLPA. He can train players as often and as intensively as they're willing, no off-season restrictions, no time caps. That freedom makes Duke Manyweather a critical piece of the Cowboys' O-line puzzle. Think about it, while other teams wait for training camp to fix technique or build chemistry, the Cowboys are already doing the work. Right now. And it's happening with one of the best offensive line minds in football, helping shape every snap. So here's the question. How would you grade the Cowboys' offensive line right now? Are they a solid A? Still stuck at a C? Somewhere in between? Let us know your take. And now, let's go position by position, starting with the left tackle, and break down exactly what each player is working on this offseason. Let's start with Tyler Guyton, a name that sparked plenty of buzz this offseason. Despite some confusion online and a few out-of-context tweets suggesting otherwise, Guyton is still training closely with Duke Manyweather. That's confirmed not just in CBS Sports' recent report, but through direct comments from both Guyton and Duke themselves. Any noise saying otherwise? Just that, noise. So, what exactly is Guyton focused on right now? His off-season work is centered around posture, strength, and balance, three pillars that are absolutely crucial for any offensive tackle trying to thrive in the NFL. These aren't just buzzwords. These are the fundamentals that separate a solid lineman from one who gets beat off the edge. Here's what Guyton had to say about it. Posture throughout the entire rep, from stance to start to finish. It's about how you stand, how your weight shifts through your feet, where you lean, how your knees bend, ankle flexion, having a strong, slightly bowed back, not too stiff, not too loose. Finding that middle ground where you can move, react, and stay in control. That's a mature mindset for a player still growing into his role. Guyton's biggest issues so far: technique and consistency. He has the frame and the athleticism, but at times it's clear he hasn't had a long runway as a true offensive tackle. In both high school and college, he didn't get enough reps at the position, and it shows. He'll lunge forward, overextend, or end up leading with his helmet like he's trying to headbutt defenders. That's a dangerous habit, not just because it puts him off balance, but because elite pass rushers will feast on that mistake every single time. Once you're out of position, it's over. Either you get beat clean, or you commit a hold, and both are killers. And let's be honest, confidence plays a role here too. Last season, the coaching didn't help. There were clear disconnects in development, and that stalled Guyton's growth. But now, under the guidance of a specialist like Mayweather, there's hope this can turn around. Guyton is a project. That's true. He's a developmental tackle, and that comes with highs and lows. But if the Cowboys want him to be a cornerstone of this line moving forward, there need to be a lot more highs in 2025 than what we saw last season. And from the sound of it, that work is already underway. The truth is simple. Tyler Guyton has to take a step forward, and right now, it looks like he's putting in the work to do just that. He's saying the right things. He's reshaping his body. He's owning up to what went wrong in his rookie season. That matters. Accountability matters. And even more encouraging, he's training under the watchful eye of Duke Manyweather and leaning on the experience of Terence Steele, a future Hall of Famer who knows what it takes to dominate in the trenches. The jury's still out, of course. Work in the offseason doesn't guarantee results when the pads come on, but you can see the progress. You can feel the commitment, and that's a strong start for a player heading into his second year. Personally, I'm not out on Guyton, not even close. He's a first-round pick with sky-high potential, and one season isn't enough to write the book on him. It's fair to have concerns, but it's too early to throw in the towel. That said, fans always have a voice. Are you out on Guyton? Type Y for yes, N for no. Now let's talk about the guy who just might be the rock of this entire line, Tyler Smith. We won't need a long breakdown here. Simply put, with Zach Martin no longer in the fold, Tyler Smith is now the best offensive lineman on the Dallas Cowboys. You could have made the case last year. Now it's undisputed. Smith's offseason focus? Exploding off the ball, dominating the first 3 steps, and imposing his strength right from the snap. That screams one thing: be a bully in the trenches. And that's exactly what Cowboys fans should expect from Smith in 2025. Not just elite individual play, but leadership, consistency, and more synergy across the entire line. Because let's be real, offensive line play is about more than just talent. It's about chemistry, continuity. When 5 guys work under the same voice, with the same coaching philosophy, and the same language, the results speak for themselves. Smith is primed to benefit from that stability. And if the rest of the unit rises to his level, this Cowboys offensive line could turn into one of the league's most physical, cohesive forces. Let's shift the spotlight to Cooper Beebe. And let me tell you, there's a lot to be excited about. I was fired up when the Cowboys drafted him, and I'm even more fired up now. Beebe is putting in serious work at center, and his development is becoming one of the most intriguing stories on this offensive line. He's adjusting to a completely different role from what he played at Kansas State. At guard, your responsibilities are very different. But at center, everything changes. You've got to master your snapping technique, read defenses pre-snap, and use your offhand efficiently in both the run and pass game. It's technical. It's demanding. And Beebe is rising to that challenge. Duke Manyweather, who worked with Beebe during the pre-draft process, offered some key insight. According to Duke, when Beebe was moved to center during the season, he didn't get much formal coaching or structured development. No real roadmap, just what he'd already learned during their off-season training sessions. From there, Duke did what he could, feeding Beebe notes, watching film, and helping guide his progression. That matters, because what Duke is really saying here, without saying it directly, is that the Cowboys' former coaching staff may have dropped the ball when it came to Beebe's in-season development. That's a red flag. And while we'll dive deeper into that later, it's an important piece of the puzzle. Now, let's talk about what we've actually seen from Beebe on the field. The growth was real. In the first 9 games of last season, Beebe allowed 3 sacks, 5 quarterback hits, and 6 hurries. Not terrible, but not great either. But then, something clicked. In the final 7 games, despite the offense shifting into a high-speed, get-the-ball-out-quick mode due to a weak rushing attack, Beebe held his ground and stepped up in a big way. You could see the confidence building. The footwork got tighter, the hand usage improved, and most importantly, his command of the position started to show. This offseason could be the launchpad for something bigger. With Duke working closely alongside him again, and the benefit of real reps at center, Cooper Beebe might be gearing up for a breakout year in 2025. Despite a shifting offensive system and pressure mounting down the stretch, Cooper Beebe finished the season strong. In his final few games, he allowed just 4 hurries. No sacks, no quarterback hits, no penalties, and his run blocking. It graded out as his best performance of the season, with multiple games showing massive improvement over earlier outings. Bottom line, he got better. And more importantly, he's still climbing. We haven't seen the best version of Cooper Beebe yet, but that version, it's coming. So now, the big question. Between the Cowboys' 2 second-year linemen, who takes the bigger leap this season? Type TG for Tyler Guyton. Type CB for Cooper Beebe. Let your voice be heard. Now, let's not forget about Tyler Booker, who's also been putting in serious work with Duke Manyweather. Booker is transitioning from left guard to right guard this offseason. And that shift isn't always easy. But Duke's training philosophy is clear. Cross-train on both sides. Because in the trenches, flexibility is power. The ability to slide into either guard spot and perform at a high level is invaluable, especially when injuries hit or rotations change. Booker began this work even before the draft, and now he's doubling down. This isn't just some experimental shuffle. He's getting real, focused reps at right guard, and the early signs are promising. Booker may not come out of the gate playing like prime Zach Martin, but his style, strength, and attitude fit perfectly with what this new-look Cowboys staff is building. He brings power and nastiness to the interior, 2 traits that this team desperately needed more of last season. If you were frustrated with the Cowboys' lack of punch in the middle, don't worry, that might not be a problem anymore. With Guyton developing, Beebe surging, and Booker ready to smash from the inside, this Cowboys offensive line has a real chance to transform itself into one of the NFL's most physical units. And with the season fast approaching, one thing is clear. It all starts in the trenches. And finally, we land on Terence Steele, a longtime client of Duke Manyweather and a player at a major crossroads in his NFL journey. Steele's offseason focus is all about reclaiming his mobility post-ACL tear and refining his hand usage, 2 areas that could make or break his 2025 season. According to Duke, the previous coaching regime, specifically former offensive line coach Mike Solari, had Steele doing things with his hands that simply didn't fit his style. Duke didn't agree with those methods, and more importantly, they didn't work for Steele. It threw off his timing and overall effectiveness. But things are different now. Duke said that late last season, Steele began returning to the techniques that had brought him success before. And this offseason, working with Duke again, and now with Connor Riley as the Cowboys' official offensive line coach, there's alignment, there's clarity, and there's already a visible difference in how Steele is moving, sharper, quicker, more confident in that surgically repaired knee. That's a big deal, because 2025 is a make or break year for Terence Steele. The Cowboys need to see progress. They need him to be more than just average. And frankly, if he doesn't improve, if he doesn't return to being the dominant run blocker we saw back in 2022, there's a real chance he won't be on the roster next year. Let's not sugarcoat it. 2023 was rough. Steele wasn't himself. He struggled in pass protection and didn't regain his full form as a run blocker. But there's hope, and it starts with better coaching. This is the real story behind the Cowboys' offensive line turnaround. It's not just about new players. It's about better coaching, more consistent strategy, and complete alignment between Connor Riley and Duke Manyweather. That kind of cohesion is powerful, especially in the trenches. And Duke didn't hold back. He openly admitted that Beebe lacked detailed coaching after being moved to center. He criticized the hand techniques taught to Steele under the old regime. That's not just a minor footnote, it's a major indictment of last year's coaching approach. Now, the Cowboys finally have their O-line headed in the right direction. And that might just be what saves Steele's career and helps this entire unit get back to dominating.